Good morning. This is the Minute Madness session at the SurfNet 2014 workshop. For those who don't know me, my name is Craig Anslow. I'm a postdoc researcher here at the University of Calgary working with Frank Mara in the Agile Software Engineering Lab. Today we have a bunch of really exciting presentations from all the students working in the SurfNet project. So we have students from all across Canada presenting, and in total we have 63 presentations. So just some instructions for the students who are all lined up here perfectly. Thank you very much. So we have 63 and they're basically alphabetical order, except for a couple of anomalies who decided that they wanted to pair up to do a couple of talks. So each student will have an introductory slide, and then they'll have 60 seconds up to 60 seconds to present the material on their project. We are video recording the presentations today so that we could show them later and at tomorrow's industry evening. So for the students that are presenting, if you could stand here in front of the podium, you'll have the screenshot which will show the actual slides, and you'll have speaker notes if you produce speaker notes in your presentation. A couple of you have got some reading notes, so you'll be able to see those from my laptop. So I think, yeah, Robin?
You should tell them about the prizes.
Right, yes, I forgot. We have some special people in the audience who are very experienced in this area, and they'll be judging your wonderful presentations. And we have prizes this year, and we'll announce those tomorrow, this evening.
The winners will announce tonight.
Yeah, the winners will be announced tonight. And so we have prizes for first, second, and third. So it's all go. So hopefully we do really well, and best of luck. So a couple of statistics. We had many people from different groups. So we have Calgary, Waterloo, Saskatchewan, Carleton, Queens, McGill, and some of the networking collaboration researchers from University of Ontario, Institute of Technology, PEI, and Manitoba. So 63 in total. So if we're going straight ahead, we should be finished by 12 o'clock, ready for lunch. So first up, we have Zeng Dong, who's going to present Glassword. So the presenters need to come here so they can use the microphone because we want to record the audio. Okay, thank you.
So it's quite often that we unlock our smartphone in a public space. The problem is potential attackers around us may look over our shoulders to try to steal our password. Similarly, a hidden camera can be used to record the PIN entry of our pins, meaning that the current practice of using the PIN to unlock the phone is not sufficient enough to protect our important information on the phone. Luckily, one displays such as Google Glass are getting increasingly popular. So in our approach, we hide users' PIN input from attackers by showing the PIN entry or visual feedback only on the glass, the private display of the glass. This way, attackers will not be able to see our pins. So please come to see our demo tomorrow between 5 and 8.
So just a quick check. Is the lighting okay down there? Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. All right, here's them.
Okay, my research is on designing exercise systems for seniors. So my goal is the goal is to help them to be more active. In order to do that, we need to understand their expectations and their needs. So we ran a cultural probe study in which you give a couple of probes to your participants, and they have to complete these probes in a couple of weeks. So as an example, you can see the camera probe in which we gave them a camera, and they had to take a couple of photos from these 4 subjects written on the back of the camera, or the postcards in which you ask a question on the back of the postcard and they have to answer that. You can see a view of our results, and after analyzing this data, we came up with 3 main findings in which we can couple them with younger people to motivate them. You can use music as a source of inspiration, and you can encourage them by reminding them of their past life. So thank you for listening, and I will be glad if you can come to me and ask any questions that you have.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Sound. Sorry.
So if you want to see more about this movie, just come talk to me at my poster. Thank you.
Okay, you ready?
Sure.
First things first, I'm in masters. Tang and Carpendale supervisors. Researching about visualizations, and we did this one in which we supported decisions, right? You have never seen a viz like this. Stratus is the name and it looks just like this. Compare plans, resource flow to release features, something worth seeing, planning software release. Now ask you do that, why do that? Project management is trivial, though you know that. I'll be the BON, put my name tag on. I'll be working down tomorrow with the record to show. It's so fancy. We even have a study. They help planners in choosing an optimal plan. It's so fancy. Can you see that viz? Remember those names we will demo. Bet y'all not expecting that. Thank you.
You ready?
Whew, hard to follow after that. Okay. Hi. So we're working on a new project trying to integrate security code reviews in the software development process. We really don't want to see any more shell shock or hard bleed bugs. So there are already tools out there like Findbugs. They detect vulnerabilities in source codes, but they provide humongous lists of potential vulnerabilities that are really hard to go through. So we want to use table displays for the interface for code reviews to support collaboration and information flow between members of the team. To support analysis and decision making, we want to provide them with interactive visualizations so they would be able to focus on the most important vulnerabilities and find hidden patterns. And to support workflow, we're looking at ideas like annotating source code and auto-generating review documentation based on the review sessions. So make sure to come talk to me if you have any feedback, comments, or any ideas. Thank you.
So we've been looking at how aware users are of the position of other people around a distributed table system. So when working together on the same table, people can actually see if someone's leaning in to grab an object or what object they're reaching for. And when people are in different locations, they can't see the preparatory motions, so like they can't see if someone's walking towards the table. You might be able to see like the movement of a cursor or an arm embodiment on the table, but you can't actually see what's happening around it. We wanted to see if adding surround visualizations would help with what's happening around it. So the first one we tried was a blob, which kind of shows like a blue line that moves as we're moving around the table. The second one showed a mirror image of any movement in the center around the table coming out from the center of the table. And the third one actually showed like the surrounding motion projected on the edge of the table. And then the last one we had didn't show any surrounding motion, so we just compared these 4 types of visualizations to see if it helped people see what objects were being reached for or what the people around the table were doing.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm working on GIS transmogrification API. So transmogrification is changing of a shape of an image from one shape to the another, just as a rearranging of pixels. So I am basically trying to imply this concept on a web-based GIS system and try to develop an API which can be used by different GIS-based application. That's it. Thank you.
Being socially excluded sucks. In real life, it happens constantly, and everybody is affected by it somehow. You can also certainly tell that social exclusion happens in gaming environments, be it via flaming or just not getting into a certain group of players. So the effects of social exclusion vary greatly. There are emotional responses, there is the loss of attention, or even aggression. So in psychological research, those findings are shown in experimental settings with standardized manipulations and different behavioral tasks, like the word completion tasks. So in our research, we tried to generalize those findings by adding gaming variables to those tasks and try to compare the effects of social exclusion. And our main goal is to show that the surface can mitigate those effects.
My research aims to improve situation awareness in collaborative digital tabletop systems with automation. We have been using a collaborative board game, Pandemic, as a case study to investigate ways to improve situation awareness. What? Well, that's probably what you're wondering right now. And yes, automation can be very difficult to follow, especially on digital tabletop systems, since the users can be looking at one another or at different parts of the system. So we have designed and developed an interactive event timeline which provides historical information that allows users to see the actions done by the system and also by other users. They can also navigate and tap on events to see more details. So although I don't have more cat photos, and please still check out my demos tomorrow. Thank you.
Good. Hi, my name is Bernard Cheng, and I'm going to talk to you today about Tabula Rasa. Tabula Rasa is a game where world building and gameplay happens at the same time. The game is set in a two-dimensional world. The player navigates with a controller on a conventional gaming machine. In this case, it's a laptop. And the orchestrator finger paints the world in real time as the player plays through it. As you can see, sometimes they can do it collaboratively. So the player can experience this world as the orchestrator is manipulating it. So what happens is the orchestrator can take on a number of roles. At times they can be the helicopter parent, which babysits the player. They can be an architect, which builds interesting and challenging situations for the player to navigate through. Or they could play the villain, where they actively hinder the player's progress and stop them from achieving game goals.
Oh, you need to. Yeah. Well, you're not gonna. Okay, you ready? Come this way, Victor.
It's a story about two gentlemen. Paul and Peter are the names they were given. Paul and adventurous, Paul does things with no retention. But when many things are happening, it's hard to get his attention. Timid and nervous are the trademarks of Peter. But despite his setbacks, Peter is a keen observer. On one nice sunny day, Paul passed by a large display, but without noticing it, he didn't really stay. Peter, on the other hand, noticed the same display, but as timid as always, he didn't walk up and play. Puzzled by the situation, the designer went out for suggestions, and when he found the expert on this, he had the solution. Who was the expert, you might wonder? Well, you are looking at him, and his name is Victor.
Hi, my name is Apoorva Chokshi. I'm a master's student in the Agile Software Engineering Lab here at the University of Calgary. Welcome to ITS 2014 in sunny Hawaii. It's going to be a fantastic week. As you're sitting there, it's pretty easy to tell that my previous statement was untrue. However, during emergencies, when information is coming into an emergency operations center fast and furious, this is not so easy. It is hard for people working in an emergency operations center to triage tweets while processing information from other sources, whether the police, fire, EMS, and others. My work seeks to support selected personnel in assessing, filtering, and sharing relevant information with people within an operations center, thereby helping core decision makers use tweets as a trusted source of information to thereby improve the public response.
This is Rowan and Foster. And these are their grandparents. They live far away. So to communicate, they use Skype. There's just one problem.
Skype is boring. I can be my fun.
This is Ansgar. He's trying to make Skype more engaging for children. He tried telling the children interesting stories about his life. But that didn't seem to work. But how do adults usually interact with children? Ah, through play. Let's see how that works. Maybe a little bit more interested? But what's missing? Ah, interactivity. Presenting gameful activities in a transparent overlay, enabling playful experiences while also enacting relationships?
All right. Okay. So distributed Scrum teams often don't have access to a Scrum board. So we developed a distributed Scrum boards that combined video communication with the task visualization. So the always-on video connection is always automatically de-blurred and blurred when people approach or leave the board. Once in a meeting, the participants have access to this high-quality video and audio channel that's overlaid with a multi-touch enabled, fully synchronized task user interface. This user interface allows the participants to drag and drop tasks into distinct columns to open and close them, and to assign specific users to specific tasks directly at the board. So we implemented some highlight and telepointer features that help the participants with the sort of control mechanisms at the board, and the whole thing is integrated with a backend Team Foundation server, so it fits right into existing software development systems. So my name is Morten Espensen. I work with distributed Scrum tools. Come see my demo on Thursday.
My research is about alternative visualization for graphs, because we are seeing them everywhere in our lives. I'm too short. Echo Spiralviz is a visualization inspired by spirograph patterns for visualizing ecological networks, which are weighted directed graphs for representing the energy flow in the ecosystem. And node ring visualization is the visualization that is inspired by Hunter Buster's paintings. And in this visualization, we actually remove the links from the graph and replace them with colored rings. And with no edges tangling between the nodes, it's easier to move them around and create maybe more interesting patterns with them and have fun. If you're interested, come and see.
Hey, I'm a new master's student and I'm also new to Canada. So to be honest, I miss my mom here a lot. Nobody can go for a McDonald's burger every single day, so I have to cook, but I don't know how. So one thing that I might do is to just Skype with my mom, holding my phone with one hand and doing some things with the other, so not so efficient, I think. So no offense to my mom, but I think that video would be the ideal scenario. So, and it's not just about cooking, it might be about any expert that wants to assist any worker in the workplace. So in industrial workplaces, it might be useful. Yeah. So now we have wearable devices like Google Glass, so that might be some help. And what I'm going to evaluate in my project is that are they as efficient as they seem? Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Varun Gaur. I'm here to introduce myself to the SurfNet community. I'm a new student. I hail from India. I'm a new master's student studying computer science at the HCI lab at the University of Saskatchewan, working under the guidance of Dr. Carl Gutwin. And before joining HCI lab, I have 3+ years of experience in the software industry. And since I'm new to the HCA field, so I don't have much to say. I'm interested in working in interaction techniques and surface computing. That's why I'm here to learn from you guys. And I look forward to talk to you guys, and probably I'll get some idea for my project and thesis. Thank you.
As you can see, that's how complex a sense-making environment can get. But to help our make world easier, we have a tabletop where all the information can be displayed in one system. This information can be in form of images, graphs, videos, or a document. One way of viewing this information can be directly on a tabletop, but this can become really complex. Hence, we can even use a tablet. Hence, my research focuses on exploring sense-making in a geospatial environment, where I look at 3 techniques. The first technique is where you explore on a tablet and you get feedback on a table. And where in second technique, you directly explore on a table and you can view the information on a table itself. And in the third technique, you use the volumetric space above the tabletop to get information as you move tangibly, and this information is continuous. Comparing these 3 techniques, I will be looking to come up with the best way to explore data in a multi-surface environment.
Good morning. Ready?
Data, it's all around us. Many people are interested in collecting personal data such as physical activity, eating habits, hours spent commuting, and more. However, the question remains, what do they actually learn from their data? In this study, participants are asked to complete a survey on their current data collection practices and knowledge, collect data and participate in weekly activities for 6 weeks, and complete a post-data collection survey. From this study, we hope to better understand how people learn from data and to suggest strategies to support optimal learning. To learn more or to participate, please contact us at the email address or website listed here.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Jonathan Haber, and I'm a 4th-year PhD candidate. But enough about me, I want to tell you about Jill. Jill is having a stressful day because she wants to know more about color. So of course, Jill turns to the ColorViz visualization tool, where she can visualize the color choices of her favorite artists. But seeing Jill use this tool leaves me with a few questions. Can Jill really understand the subtle color palettes that were displayed to her on this digital display? And for that matter, how well can Jill tell colors apart to begin with? For example, if we look at these 2 cues up on the screen from a distance, do they look to be the same color? Well, as we approach them closer, we can see that they're actually not. So this begs the question, what does this mean when we're picking colors for the design of software for people like Jill, when she's using a personal display close up, or looking at a large public display meant to be viewed at a distance? Well, if you're curious about these questions as I am, I recommend that you check out my thesis coming this summer 2015. For questions and comments, please find me on the web. Thank you very much for listening.
So next up, we have a double hitter.
120 seconds of action.
You guys ready?
Yep. Has this ever happened to you? Bring, bring.
Oh, hello, cherished grandson.
Hi, Grandpa, who lives in a generic faraway city. I really like it when you visit, but Mom says that's often very expensive or difficult for you to do.
Indeed it is, but these online video calls at least give us a chance to talk together, right?
True, but Mom also says that research shows that the more engaging and interactive these online communications are, the stronger the social and emotional bonds we can develop. If only there was something we could do online together that was more exciting and fun than simply talking to each other.
Oh, what about these newfangled online video games I keep hearing about?
Ooh! We can play Pocket Monsters DX Ultra Sapphire, just like me and my peer group often do and have been doing for a long time, and are already well-versed in the detailed rules and minutiae of the complex mechanics.
Oh, I don't know. I might not have the same manual dexterity as you do with your fancy gamepads. I prefer my tablet. If only there was an online game that had multifaceted appeal and different physical interfaces, while also letting us play together in a strong cooperative context.
Or how about this? Ding dong! Dude, welcome to Video Game Night! Let's dig in and play our favorite kind of game which appeals to our individual skills and interests. Face
Puzzle
Punch
Sim
6!
2015! Oh.
Well, I guess we could just switch back and forth between those games, even though each one doesn't fully engage the other type of player, and it really becomes an exercise in tolerating uninteresting games for the sake of politeness rather than fun. Or how about this?
Hey, do you remember that time we were playing that game together and I did that amazing thing and got and achieved my individual goals and got all that personal loot?
Huh, you know, I don't seem to remember that. I suppose I was too busy playing my own distinct section of the game that didn't really have anything to do with you, such that in essence we weren't really playing together at all. Hi, I'm John.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And like you, we're big fans of having fun with our friends and loved ones. With the explosive diversity of new interfaces, genres, and markets, modern video games should be an excellent way for a lot of different kinds of people to play together. Unfortunately, not everyone likes the same kind of games, and it's still very difficult to find games that both appeal to and can fully engage disparate types of players. Think grandparents with grandkids, action gamers with strategy gamers, or physical therapists with their patients. To help bridge that gap, we at the University of Waterloo's Games Institute are looking to tackle this problem by exploring the fun of interdependence in asymmetric cooperative games.
That sounds great, but how do we plan to do it?
Currently, we're looking into leveraging asymmetry. Imagine I'm stuck in a virtual maze and you're the only one who has a map to the exit.
That's asymmetry of information.
Imagine my Space Marine character is stuck on an alien planet, but you can support me as the plucky starship engineer who's still up in orbit with our spaceship.
Asymmetry of ability.
Imagine a game that remixes Scrabble and Super Mario, where you're laying down tiles on a touchscreen becomes the platforms that my gamepad-controlled character can run across.
That's asymmetry of interface.
And that's just the beginning. We're investigating all kinds of asymmetry. We've got asymmetry of challenge, interface, commitment, ability, investment, information, and possible asymmetries we still haven't isolated yet.
Fantastic, but is there any way I might be able to see these ideas in action, maybe as part of a demo or something?
Indeed there is, Jay. We'll be upstairs demoing not just one of our prototype games, but two!
Amazing!
But that's not all. If you give each of us a rockin' high five, we'll throw in a third demo for the price of two. You can't afford not to come see our demos.
3 demos for the price of 2? I'm there!
Boom.
Hi everyone, this project is about visualizing Android applications and their requested permissions. If you have ever installed an Android application, you might have noticed that a set of permissions are shown to you before installing the application. So these permissions show what resources the application will have access to once it is installed on your device. For instance, Facebook needs to access your location, contact list, etc. So we designed Papilio to explore how real-world Android applications are requesting permissions in practice. In this visualization, the applications are shown in the middle. Their requested permissions are shown on the left-hand side with color representing how dangerous each permission is. And the partially ordered relations among them are shown on the right-hand side. By exploring this interactive visualization, we found some interesting security findings. So for instance, we found some illegal requests of very dangerous permissions by third-party applications. If you want to know more about this project, please come and talk to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi. We were interested in how visual mapping is processed. So we present the result of a study where we asked non-InfoVis experts to create, update, and annotate their own visualization. Here, she creates. Update. And annotate. So all participants were able to complete these 3 tasks in a short period of time. As you can see, simply recreated well-known visualizations such as bar chart, and others developed unexpected diverse visual mapping. Thank you.
Just to give a plug to Samuel, apparently he did his defense last week, is that correct? So everyone should give him a clap.
Hi everyone, my research is on local latency, which is the time delay between an input like moving a mouse to when you see some feedback on the display. It's caused by things like slow software and buffering in displays. To give you an idea of how prevalent this lag is, we found that PCs got around 10 to 160 milliseconds of lag, game consoles between 130 and 260 milliseconds, and phones around 80 milliseconds. How much does it matter? A previous study showed that any amount above about 10 milliseconds has an effect on touch interfaces. My research is actually on lag in 3D games or first-person shooters, with a mouse, where we found a similar result that you can see in the solid line here. People performed 50% better in target tracking and acquisition with no lag compared to 160 milliseconds of lag. So why do we care so little about it? There's ways to combat it, such as paying attention to hardware used and software settings, or through pointing assists, which are also part of my research. Talk to me more if you want to learn more about it. Thanks.
Hello everyone. My research is focused on collaboration and mobile video conferencing. So, video conferencing is becoming an increasingly popular means for people to connect, collaborate, and share experiences across a variety of scenarios. It's essentially the way of the future. However, very little research has gone into exploring out and about mobile video conferencing. While there are tools out there that provide video conferencing capabilities to mobile devices, most of these tools focus on talking heads experiences, and they can be quite awkward for use in collaborative tasks.
Turn it back.
For example, it can be quite difficult for a desk-bound collaborator to refer to things in the mobile environment. These tools also provide a limited field of view, thus making certain things in the mobile environment invisible to the desk-bound collaborator. These and other issues provide insight into how we can better design mobile video conferencing tools for collaboration on real-world tasks. If you want to find out more, come talk to me. Thanks.
Hey, my name is Nervous, and I'm Kalev, and this is the Simple Multi-Touch Toolkit for Processing, or SMT for short. SMT supports all common operating systems and common touch. Where do we start? The Simple Multi-Touch Toolkit for Processing, or SMT for short, is a simple and flexible library for touch user interface prototyping. It supports all major operating systems and common touch input devices. It takes just a few minutes to install and a few more to learn the basic concepts. Since it provides the user with a good environment for playing around with ideas, it is currently being used as a research and teaching aid in multiple universities. And additionally, it has made the realm of multi-touch computing accessible to students, artists, hobbyists, and other non-coders. If you're interested, please come to our workshop tomorrow, or check out our website for download info, tutorials, and documentation. Thank you.
Looking at how people collaborate in different group settings in a variety of surface environments, we notice some differences in their speech styles, such as speed, specifics of turn taking, quantity of words being said, and some others. While these features of their speech were dynamically changing throughout the work process, certain speech styles were occurring repeatedly. We hypothesized that these discourse variations are reflecting group state on a continuum from tight coupling to loose coupling at a given moment of time. So our next goal is to test our hypothesis as well as the generalization power of the observed phenomenon. And thus we are interested in identifying and understanding patterns of discourse in surface environments as a descriptive parameter of group dynamic throughout the collaboration. Thank you.
So my name is Paul. My project is about visualizing your personal Facebook data. So on Facebook, it shows you your posts, and it doesn't really show you anything other than who likes and comments. It doesn't show you any of this data in aggregate. It doesn't tell you any patterns or when things are happening. My visualization shows all of your posts on the right, and then all of the people who liked and commented them on the left. You can hover over top of different bubbles, and it will reveal to you which post that person engaged with. So for example, my friend Lisa, she likes a lot of my ski pictures. You can click on her bubble, and it'll show you a collection of all the posts that she engaged with, either by popularity or chronologically sorted. you can also do the same thing with a post. You can click on a post and it'll show you the reverse relationship, everyone who liked and commented on it. So for example, there's a cluster of people on the bottom who are not my friends, but they're friends with the person tagged in this picture. So I wouldn't have known that information had it not been for this visualization. I'm going to be demoing this, and I look forward to talking to you about this more. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm David, and I'm working with Saul, and I'm doing remote control for UB Comp Ecologies. I'm submitting my thesis next week, so let's see how that goes. So the premise is, in the same way that we have many devices, we also have many appliances that are interconnected. And the question is, how can we control them and actually see them in the environment? So what we're doing is we're using this notion of gradual engagement, meaning that the closer we get to an appliance, the more information we can see about it and eventually control it. So here we can see how we have an overview of different appliances around the screen, and as we point towards different appliances, we can see their controls. Now, the other thing we can do is we can actually walk closer to each appliance and get more information about it and eventually control it. So here you can see me controlling the thermostat on the wall. Now, the other thing that is important to note is that we don't want to restrict things to just approaching things physically. I mean, we use TV remotes when we're sitting down and things like that. So we want to also be able to integrate these notions into our interaction. So here you can see me sliding to simulate an approach for the lamp and actually turn it on and be able to control it in the same way. So if you want to find out more, please come talk to me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kifeng Liu. I'm a research assistant of Stacy from Waterloo. So all we know about the tragedy of Titanic, but then recently I found out it's not about iceberg because of Isaiah. That's why we are trying to build applications that will multi-surface applications that will show different kind of data, such as satellite data, that to different experts to work together to predict where Isaiah will be. And then also, we don't want to keep on hitting that. Otherwise, one day if he's mad, he will need to face the Godzilla.
Before I start, I'm Lindsay McDonald. I'm a PhD student working with Sheila Carpendale. Lindsay.
Whoops. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm in a slightly different space right now.
Well, I'm here at SurfNet telling these people about our work.
We'd like to tell you about considering interaction as a liminal space.
What's a liminal space?
It's a concept from social science that describes a space in between two other places or facilitates a transformation, like a doorway, or the room we had candidacy in on Friday.
Well, how can this affect people and technology?
So far, we looked at implicit and incidental interaction in liminal space to trigger content to keep passersby fascinated, and liminal space and proxemics mediated by ambient technologies.
Oh, the screen is kind of a liminal space too. It's where all the action is.
We see them in liminal spaces like airports and elevators. We could think bigger too.
Media facades.
That might be our next project.
Well, time to get back to candidacy. It's also liminal. If you'd like to talk more about applying the theory of liminal space to interactive technologies, let's chat. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Mashid. It's been 1 year that I'm working in Agile Safe Race Lab, and a few months before I arrived there was this big flood in Calgary which cost billions of dollars. This cost could have been reduced by early warning, so I participated in a project to create early warning and help monitor and manage water resources and help make critical decisions. For future, my aim is to continue this path of applying the power of visual analytics for emergency management and response. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rim Mehta, and I'm going to chat to you a little bit about glidgets. So when exploring dynamic graphs, observing topological changes, techniques such as small multiples and animation are really good at conveying high-level changes, that is, changes in the overall topology over a period of time, but it's really difficult to see low-level changes, that is, changes in the context of a data point, because of the fact that the temporal navigation technique is detached from the data point of interest, which results into divided attention. So we propose object-centric temporal navigation, as a part of which We've developed interactive glyphs and embedded time sliders. What you're seeing here is an interactive node glyph, which provides node degree and persistence information, and node time slider that supports temporal navigation centered along a node of interest. Similarly, we have interactive edge glyphs, which provide edge persistence information, and an edge time slider to support navigation along an edge of interest. Thank you for listening, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you at a demo. Thanks.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So, as SurfNet researchers, we know the amount of devices that we have in our workplaces, in our homes, and so on. And on the other side of the spectrum, we have insane amount of data. And okay, we are people. We are talking with our colleagues, our friends, and everybody else. So, as Robert pointed earlier this morning, it's just like, okay, how can we use the technology so that we can collaborate with this? So I present you Bancada, which is my project, my master's project, and we're here, actually, through Bancada, we're using exactly how can we evaluate the use of tablets as tools to explore geospatial information, and using the concepts of overview detail and zoomable user interfaces. The tablets are pretty much lenses, magical lenses, where we augment an overview that is being displayed on the tabletop. And given this, we're pretty much just looking for how can we collaborate, how can we use the technology so that we can improve the collaboration among pairs. Thanks very much. If you want to talk, come with me. Yep, see ya.
Hi, my name is Marcus Sabasa. I'm working with the Collaborative Systems Lab at University of Waterloo under Stacey Scott. A U.S. Geological Survey places about 90 billion barrels of oil buried under tons of sea ice. All these oil reservoirs are driving petroleum companies out to recover as much of it as possible. As you can imagine, there are like risks involved when you send ships into ice-infested waters. We've all heard about the Titanic. More and more research has been conducted every day to ensure safe passage of these ships, as well as find viable locations for oil rigs to go up. Our job is to take all this uncorrelated data and put it by creating software to put it on a multi-touch tabletop that allows easier visualization, interaction, and facilitates collaboration amongst researchers and others interested in Arctic exploration. All this while in a multi-device environment where we use tablets to enhance the experience, as explained by my colleague Nipun earlier. This is what we aim to achieve with the CIS project.
My name is Eric Puluka. Hello. So this work deals with visualization and spatial interaction by members of the VLab. So the Microsoft Kinect and other input devices have planted spatial interaction into the minds of many. I know many of you have already worked in this area when designing interactions above and in conjunction with digital tables. So when designing better user interfaces, we can log interaction data and event data, but it tends to be textual, which is difficult to analyze. So to solve this, why not harness the power of the human visual system? So in this regard, we have developed a web-based application that visualizes log spatial interaction data. So just by uploading a log file and a video screen capture of the associated display, a user can visually explore and analyze the spatial interactions and its effects on the graphical user interface. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Julia, and my research is on big data analytics. As you may know, big data is now being used nowadays to explore different data sets and gain some insight from this large data. One of the most prolific solutions is to use visualizations to tell domain experts about this summarized data. The problem with using visualizations for large data sets is that there's obviously limited space to represent all this data, and there's always going to be some information loss that the user may not be aware of. So what we propose in here is just using information metrics to support informed decision makings. Basically, tell domain experts when they're using a visualization and tell them, what kind of information is missing in this so they can be informed about the whole data that they're seeing. Thanks.
So up next we have another double header.
So this summer we decided So again, this summer we decided to build things, and for this we bought a whole bunch of Arduinos and some input-output sensors.
And this is our foray into the world of physical computing.
My name is Samia and my supervisor is Ehud Charlotte.
And I'm Jennifer and my supervisor is Tony Tang. So here's a few of our simple explorations. First, we began by making some paper circuits. The first was one with copper tape.
And here's another one with conductive paint, and the point was to turn on LEDs. The drier the paint, the more conductive.
Our next project was a polymorph potentiometer LED. Here we used a potentiometer to change the resistance and the brightness of the LED, and then polymorph material which becomes moldable once heated to make a case for the LED, and here is it in action.
Cool. So next we decided to explore a force sensing resistor, which is basically an input device to test varying levels of force input.
And here you can see the output in a processing sketch on screen. Our next project was an LED calculator. Here you could enter mathematical expressions via the keyboard, and then the output was shown via lit up LEDs.
Yeah, and it's all integer calculation, and the green LED shows you negative numbers. Next, we decided to explore servo motors, and for that, we attached a tiny flag to a tiny servo motor that can go up, down, on the press of a button.
Our last project was a tea time sensor. Here we used a temperature sensor and an LED, and when you poured hot water into the mug, when the temperature reached a certain threshold, the LED lit up, and
it has a servo client. That means when I'm ready to have tea, I can let Jen know that it's tea time, who's sitting on another computer.
Via this great tea time GIF.
So I want to take this further into DIY and education.
And I'm interested in exploring physical visualization. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi. Individuals with chronic illness can manage their conditions better by reflecting on the data they collect using personal visual analytics applications. In case of chronic headaches, patients usually record different time variables or time events that can trigger or influence their chronic conditions. By visually analyzing and exploring these recorded factors, individuals can generate different conjectures about their conditions to bring positive adjustments into their lifestyle. However, representing and interacting with multiple time series data for personal reflection requires understanding of underlying visual analytic tasks that patients can perform to understand their conditions. So the question is, what kind of visual analytic interfaces can help patients to understand their chronic conditions better by exploring data interactively and iteratively? Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Fatima. I've just started my PhD and I'm planning to work in creating simple to use visual interfaces to help patients and doctors communicate better. When somebody is experiencing symptoms such as vision anomalies, severe headaches, anxiety, and lots of other symptoms, knowing which type and how severe are these symptoms is crucial for medical purposes to diagnose and choose the best treatment option for them. Sometimes patients traumatize and then they can't express what they're feeling accurately, and then they over or undervalue their symptoms. To fill this gap between patients and doctor, we propose a prototype to visualize symptoms for patients and let them choose the best option for them, and then doctors have better understanding for patients' condition, and hopefully they can choose the best treatment option for them and help them the best. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Daniel, University of Manitoba. Sure.
So making more immersive video games, one way to do that is to have them interact dynamically with the player's actions. Like here, he bumps into some people, they get angry, this person notices, stays in their way. This makes the world seem really alive. But this is really, really tough to program. We said, what if you could just paint a storyboard of a behavior? So here we have the blue guy who's going to be the player, the red guy, the computer player, and we're going to paint a sneak behavior. First by selecting a color and painting the goal of the sneak, presumably to get up behind and close. And we're going to say, where shouldn't you go if you're sneaking? We're going to say anywhere the player can see, because if you're seen, you're not doing a very good job sneaking. Then we're going to make a storyboard. So as the player moves around, how does the sneak look in this different situation? And then just by hitting play, we compile the storyboard into a behavior, and you can actually move the player around and see how that behavior feels. So this is game prototyping development, and if all parts of making games was this easy, what kind of game would you make? Thank you.
Hey, I'm Adrian.
Okay, I'm Adrian, and today I'll talk about what I like most, baking. Show me your baking face. Ah! Let's start with the basics. Recipe, on my tablet, because I'm a nerd. Flour, yeast, oil, milk, egg. That's not how you do it. Dirty hands. Okay, what else? Ah! How can I use this stupid touchscreen? Washy. Okay, what's next? Suspicious powder. Whiskey. Nostrovia. Secret ingredient. Done. Time to mix it. Wait, did I forget something? Dirty hands again. There must be a better way to do that. Whatever. What's next? Camera, apples, cinnamon, raisins, and one more camera. Gives you a topping and wicked gesture tracking. And that's how you do it. Bam. 350 Fahrenheit. Bam. Turn on devices with mad pointing interaction. In the oven. Nap time. How did it turn out? Pointing is faster than touching, and I don't even have to hold the device in my hands. Awesome research findings. God damn it, I forgot sugar.
Sure. I'm Jesse, I'm an undergrad. So my work was to make multi-surface environments for multiple users on multiple devices. So I started off making a bunch of examples, like a card game, stitching together multiple devices. Problem with this is the code for different examples really doesn't cross over. So especially making like a card game versus a drawing application, it doesn't cross over. So the goal is to make an API for making multi-surface environments and applications very easily. So what I did is I made the API, then I redid the examples I had done before. And so for example, the card game went from 1,100 lines of code down to 73. I did about 7 examples, and on average, it was about 1/10 of the code to write. And it's very simple code, very simple idea. It's a workspace, which is a container for objects, and every user has a view space to look into the workspace. And so it's simplified the process, and it's very easy to make applications. Thank you.
And there's a demo.
And yes, demo, for sure.
Hi, my name is Ravina, and I'm working with Robert Biddle and postdoc Judith Brown. And we're looking at the different types of gestures that people use when collaborating on a touchscreen. So we're going to be providing participants with a parallel coordinates graph, which looks a lot like that. And we're going to be asking them to do a bunch of tasks. And we'll be video recording their hands to see the types of gestures they use, as well as developing software to track their gestures on the screen. And so we're not sure exactly what we're going to find, but we believe that there will be gestures that are unique to collaboration. Thank you.
Sure. Hi, my name's Mike.
Sports, training, getting better, expertise development, video games, training, thumb wrestling, no expertise development, sports, dunking, passing, individual differentiation, video games, Shooting, 1 button press. Passing, 1 button press. No individual differences. Sports, fresh. Tired. Video games, fresh. Not tired at all. Introducing Jelly Polo. 3-on-3 small-scale exertion through crazy thumbstick flicking madness. Expertise development, individual differences, fatigue. Come see it. Thursday.
Thank you.
Well, you can't. There's no. You can't. Oh,
Hi, I'm Aditya. I'm going to talk about my recent project, which is sonic data, broadcasting data via sound for smartphones. So we are exposed to a lot of audible sound in various settings, and so are our smartphones. So what if we can add some hidden information through our audible sound and let our phones hear it to perform some contextual actions?
We introduced sonic data, a technique for embedding data into an existing soundtrack and sending it using near inaudible frequencies. Here, we show a song playing in the background while a mobile phone is listening to the embedded data in the song. The user boards their flight and begins using their phone. As the flight is about to take off, a safety announcement is made, and the phone listens to the announcement and notifies the user to turn off their phone.
If you want to know more about this project, please come and talk to me.
Hi, I'm Peter Simony. So I'll ask you to use just a smidge of imagination and pretend that this is actually a fancy maze app, web app, not just, a picture of one. And you can see we're maybe maze analysts or something, and solving it's looking a bit messy. There's a nice open space down at the bottom. Maybe we should try that. Go ahead and do it. Oh, no, that's not working at all. We kind of want to go back to what we had before. So that's not really easy to do in a web app because you're really lucky if you even have undo. Software development, though, has this problem solved very easily. We use version control. So a classic example is you can have half your team working on something totally different from the other and trying out some new idea, like what if we only made a browser and didn't include all that other stuff? And that's more or less what I've done. What if we had Git for web apps? I've built a little library that shows you a nice little tree of the history, and you can end up with a sort of a decision tree. If you have to front load your decisions in whatever processor you're using anyway, it'd be nice to be able to explore without being so totally committed that you have to redo everything when you go back. And that way you can solve the problem, even if you don't have an optimal solution, you can get pretty close without feeling like you have to stick with your original plan.
Hi, my name is Milad Surush. So we all use self-controllability to control our behaviors, thoughts, and emotions in life. And it's known to be associated with lots of positive outcomes in life, such as relationships, personal achievements, like academic scores and academic achievements, or even our income in life. So we first looked at freemium games, which are making millions of dollars each day, such as Candy Crush, and how this self-controllability is affecting the players' purchasing decisions, and the amount of in-app purchases that they're making in the game. We also provided some design recommendations based on game psychologies and game mechanics in the game. Now we're focusing on designing games to improve self-regulation ability, and that people can achieve their goals better in life that practically every single individual is struggling with in their lifetime. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, do you want to introduce you and say your name?
I'll just leave it up.
Alright, I have to press play. Okay, yeah.
Cool. This is a project I worked on at ACAD. It's a 30-foot wide projection system that I made interactive with 6 Kinects. There are a few problems with this system. The first is that it was very hard to calibrate, and the second is that nobody else could actually use it after I was gone. Some background for the refinement of it. A normal Kinect setup under a small screen is very hard to scale, especially if you want to read people in from the screen. But if you put this Kinect above the screen, you'll be able to get person, but there's a problem with it not covering the entire screen. A multiple Kinect system, however, will allow you to cover the entire screen and generate a combined point cloud. This combined point cloud can be then refined and analyzed to determine individuals, hover, and touch points for people for points that are close to the screen. This allows an interesting exploration of visualizations for artwork that uses an inexpensive, easy to calibrate system.
Hi, my name is Richard Tang. I'm a master's student from the University of Calgary, and my work is about physiotherapy. In physiotherapy, we work with a physiotherapist to learn exercises for rehabilitation. The physiotherapist teaches and provides immediate feedback as we perform our exercises to ensure we may be able to regain function after injury. But what do we do when we're away from our physiotherapist? How do we ensure we can correctly follow our exercises and not re-aggravate our injuries and be able to recover on time? So to solve these problems, I've been working on Physio at Home, a prototype system to explore methods for accurately guiding exercise movements. Physio at Home uses a combination of an on-screen guide to show the required movement path of an exercise and provide live feedback, and multiple camera views to accurately depict movements in depth. If you would like to know more about the system and our study, my name is Richard Tang. I'll be presenting a poster tomorrow. Thank you.
Can you say your name into this thing? Sorry, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm an exchange student from the University of Munich, and I'm doing a project here about interactive surfaces for collaborative qualitative analysis with Alice Toot and Sheila Carpendale. And some of you might have done qualitative analysis before, and you might know processes like these where you cluster your data. And you might also use online tools or use a combination of both. And you might also have collaborators in your project. We are interested in understanding these different processes of qualitative analysis and to build a tool that supports collaborative qualitative analysis with interactive surfaces. And if you're interested in this, come talk to me later or visit our demo tomorrow.
Yes, before I start, I'm Nishant. I'm a student under York Kenzel at McGill University. So what skills are concerned? So to explain this, let's take the example of a bank. We have two engineers, A and B. They're working on a software. They work day and night. If someone wants to make a change, this is the new person looking at the code. Well, the eyes do pop out. So why? Because we expect the code to be modularized, but in reality, every code just tangles with each other. Even in the requirements example, we have code from every other class. So the solution for this we presented is an aspect under concern which groups together every classes together of similar function. For example, in this, we have an authentication mapping to an account which creates a logical dependency. So on a higher perspective, the technical dependencies align with the logical dependencies. So we present TouchRAM, which supports aspect hierarchies, concern orientation, and has a touch-based interface for easy use, and it supports support gesture. So here you can see a person using the tool. He's moving around the tool. It has a touch-based keyboard to input all the requirements, and also you can move around. Here he's changing the notations, and he's creating a mapping between the two classes, and he's using an advanced gesture to change the location. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alice, and today I will tell you about a project that I did together with Uta and Sheila on search. So, well, search is so efficient since we have computers, right? We just type what we want into a search engine and we get millions of results. That's great, but, well, actually, search is more complex than you might think. In our study on book search, we found that there are a lot of things that are actually hard to do in digital search tools. For example, how do you search for books to read on the beach that are romantic but not cheesy? Or what do you do when you start out research on a topic and you don't know the specific keywords yet? Or how do you discover new interesting topics? And how do you just enjoy a rewarding stroll through a book collection? Not quite as simple anymore, right? Well, there is hope. In our study, we found a wide spectrum of book search strategies, motivations, and processes, and identified how technology can support more exploratory book search. Please talk to me if you want to know more.
Hi guys, my talk is going to be a little bit depressing, I guess. So if you guys have been following the news, yesterday the government of Canada declared war on ISIS. As a member of the Canadian Forces, my job is to protect you guys, but sometimes I have a very, very hard time doing that with antiquated technology. So this is the command and control room for a naval warship. And as you can see, there's a lot of collaboration that's happening here on a paper map. So this project, it's going to be taking a look at what happens when you introduce artificial intelligence to help these people make better decisions. So how can we improve situational awareness, collaboration, of course, and the overall decision-making progress. If you have any more questions about this, come and talk to me. My supervisor is Stacey Scott. And I'll be out of uniform, so if you don't see the uniform, I'm still around. So thank you very much, and that's my talk.
Hello everyone, my name is Rodrigo Asensio, and I have a video. Is there no sound?
Of course you are.
Right, I'll restart that again if you like.
There's no haptic feedback.
Oops. Okay, let's try that again. Ready?
Yeah. Are you tired of awful touchscreen controls in games? Of course you are. Unlike regular controllers, there's no haptic feedback, and huge thumbs get in the way of the action. You could always buy external accessories, but who wants to deal with that? Introducing a project to investigate game touch controls. We plan to investigate standard controls. Swipes. Floating. And more. To see what the best one is.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nikita. My supervisor is Scott Bateman and Carl Goodwin. For the last 8 months, I've been working on WAMP's web application framework for multi-surface environments. We currently have a lot of different interactive surface devices as part of our everyday lives, but we do not have a good way to get these devices to work together. The biggest challenge is that programmers currently don't have tools that make it easy for them to build the new type of applications. WAMPs makes building multi-surface applications easy. For example, using WAMPs, I built a multiplayer card table where each player can drag their cards from devices in their hand onto a shared device. I also built a Jumbotron example that allows multiple surfaces to be stitched together to create one large display that can be panned and zoomed. With WAMPs, you write code much like with traditional GUI toolkit and not like a web application. If you are interested in building multi-surface application with a simple tool and having them run on any surface that has a web browser, Please see me tomorrow at my demo.
Hi, my name's Yagoda, and I'm going to recite some poems. One small data set, many representations in colored pencil. This is what we collected, and I'll spoil one finding. Those least close to the numbers had the most understanding. There's more where this came from, so if you're intrigued, come find me. I'll be here all week.
Games with a purpose attempt to
Hi, I'm Diane Watson, and I have a video which hopefully isn't crazy loud.
Games with a purpose attempt to motivate a player to complete a specific task or goal. They often rely on badges, points, and leaderboards to encourage players to move forwards. The problem is that while these work in the short term, they hurt in the long term. I look at sandbox games with a purpose which motivate through open worlds, player-defined goals and paths, creativity, and collaboration. For example, we create Shrine, a trophy room builder sandbox game made to support sports memorabilia collectors.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Wilson from Carleton, one of Robert's students. So we work with parallel coordinates. That's not actually parallel coordinates, but we use them for analysis of reasoning from scant or incomplete information. That technique that came from the CIA. We came up with our own input devices in a tool that we formerly did called an ACHW. And now we're actually looking at more of a pluggable panel system for getting inputs from a whole lot of different sources. So parallel coordinates really becomes a bi-directional thing, an input and an output device beyond the querying device that we've been using it for. So we do have a demo that kind of explains a lot of the code behind and what it looks like. So come see us.
I'm Anna Whitcraft, and my supervisors are Tony Tang and Jerry Huschlack. And sorry, I have to make a phone call really quick.
Hello?
Hi, Grandma, it's Anna.
Oh, Anna, how come you never visit or call?
I moved to Canada to go to school. Didn't you get my email?
I thought you already finished college in Arizona, and I don't know how the heck all this email works.
Well, I'm doing my master's. I'm going to create a system that makes us communicate better. We'll be able to send messages so you don't have to log into anything. The whole family can update photos in a family tree. We can all compile a phone book and a calendar so we all stay updated. We can take a video, or we can video call with only one push of a button, and you'll be able to send us status updates with how you're doing.
Well, that all sounds very good, dear, even though I have no idea what you are talking about. Bye for now, dear.
Bye, Grandma.
And lucky last on the list is Julia.
Hi, so I'm Julia, and I'm a new master's student here at the University of Calgary. I'm part of the Agile Surface Engineering Lab. So as you can see, I'm settling right into life as a grad student. My desk isn't quite that messy though. So the research I'm currently doing is in energy analytics. This is data analytics as it applies to the energy sector. I'm working with Chevron, an oil and gas company, in the hopes that my research will solve challenges that they're facing. For example, I'm looking into optimizing processes for delivering analytics and improving data quality using data mining techniques in order to display information such as production trends more accurately.
So thanks for your time, everyone. And here's my, feel free to contact me. And I hope you all enjoy your lunch.
All right, let's give a round of applause for all the speakers today. That was a really tough challenge. Okay. This is just a collection of the titles of each of the speakers into a nice little Wordle visualization.